Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Connecticut Common Sense. I'm here with Selena Rifkin, and I, of course, am Jason Douglas. And this is our final recording and show of the year,
Yeah, and it's number
2025,
65. It's number 65, by the way.
number 65, or 65, or 65, our 65th edition of the Connecticut Common Sense podcast.
Woohoo.
And yeah, it's great. We've been around for almost a year ourselves now.
Yeah.
I think it was what, March, maybe?
Yeah, I think we started in March. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we started in March.
And we started getting involved in
Well, you and Jay started in March, and then you
Yeah,
brought
me and Jay started in March. You came along pretty quickly after that,
hmm
and it was in November of actually the year before of 2024 that we started getting involved. We started Connecticut MAGA Republicans on X, and going into the new year last year, uh, I had a big presence. I was verified in X, and I had built up 3,500 followers
Wow.
by the end of February,
Yeah. And then
and then I foolishly. It's one of those things where you want to blame the hacker,
mm,
but he's just a hacker. I'm the one to blame. I'm the one that let the hacker into my account,
mm.
trusting this person foolishly.
Oh dear.
And I'm not like that normally.
Well,
But anyway, he hacked me. What he did was he put me to a two-party authentic TFA, which that's why TPA or two-party authentication
hmm
on my account. And I couldn't get into my own account.
Oh dear.
And then he started saying all kinds of crappy things on my account and got me banned and
Oh no.
wrecked my. Now I have a new X account. I'm on there. Everybody knows, or people know, I'm the big picture
hmm
CC on X, which I used to be the big picture CT.
Mm.
Started a new account, and I haven't done the publicity with it like I did before. I only have about 400 followers on it right now. But we're this year though, talking about New Year's resolution. We're gonna get verified, start building that up again, start building
Okay.
up social media presence. But we want to review the year a little bit here with you today,
Yeah.
in terms of what's going on in Connecticut and nationwide as well. It's not meant to be a long discussion. I want to bore you to death with a 2 hour long discussion about the year in review, but I think it's safe to say, Selena, am I wrong that the inauguration of Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States certainly is a big event to start kick off the year,
Yeah.
and the momentum, the kind of momentum that he had going starting off, and
Yeah, and it's, I don't know that we've seen much in Connecticut, but then I don't think any, other than the current exciting activity in Minnesota, most blue states I don't think have seen much change. But I
right.
don't think that there's much that he can do yet. He's been able to go in and, we've had a record number of deportations. I think we're up to 2.5 million people are gone. Of some of
That's
those
great.
were the smaller amount was involuntary. The larger number of them was actually voluntary self-deportation,
Yeah, that's
and that's
true.
awesome.
And a lot of them were the worst of the worst too.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a list. The Homeland Security has a I think ICE has an actual list, and you can look up your city on
Hmm.
their website, and they
See
will
how
tell
many
you who they.
pedophiles and crooks
Yeah. Oh
and
it's bad.
rapists and murderers are been
Oh yeah.
taken out of your city. That's
Oh yeah,
great.
and they have taken a bunch out of Connecticut. A whole bunch of them were in Danbury. There was a bunch in Hartford. But yeah, you can go on the website and actually look and see who has been extracted from Connecticut thus far. And
Great.
yeah, so Danbury,
Awesome.
there was actually a lot in Danbury that they took out. But so there,
Danbury, I've known for a long time, has been the center of illegal immigration in Connecticut.
is it really?
It is. It always has been. And
Okay.
for even before the days when Trump came along, even
Wow.
if you were illegal here, needed work, that was the place to go. You go to downtown Danbury
Uh-huh.
on a weekday morning,
Wow.
and the prospective employers will just come and pick you up for the day, pay you for the day,
Okay.
drop you off, nothing formal. Next day, you come back to the same thing.
Right. Right.
They do in Danbury. They do in other cities too, but Danbury is the place. Was
Okay.
the place, I should say.
All right.
I'd be interested to see what it looks like in those same areas in downtown Danbury
Yeah.
now versus this is I'm talking about.
Hmm.
I saw this firsthand 8, 9 years ago. More
Okay.
than that. More before Trump. It's probably 10, 12 years ago.
Right.
So, so Trump started off this year with a lot of momentum, like with Doge,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Still
seemed to
going on.
me,
Still going
hmm,
on.
is Doge still going on?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I follow them on X and like every week they post a little report. Yep, we cleaned
They
up.
find new
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah, they
That's
keep finding
cool.
new stuff.
It's funny how they don't get a lot of coverage anymore, though. It's because Elon went back to his
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, everybody thought it ended with Elon. It did not.
It's not a formal department either.
I don't, yeah, it's something that the program itself was something that Obama actually put in place.
I have we're talking about the midterms coming up this year, right? This new
Hmm.
year coming up, right?
Yep.
And the Republicans have to get the right message, blah blah blah. Uh, I have a New Year's resolution for Republicans in the Senate and in the House of Representatives.
Hmm.
Start passing laws that back up the movements that Trump is doing with executive orders, because these executive orders can simply be reversed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So how about a
That needs
law?
to
How about a
happen.
federal law banning biological men from women's sports? How about that?
Hmm.
Can we pass that
Oh
in
yeah,
Congress?
we've got a wish list for sure. My big one is actually cleaning up the elections. And as much as I
Requiring voter ID? How about that?
voter ID, no machines, clean the voter rolls. Personally, I think they should all just be wiped and
Reinstituted from the
citizens should
beginning.
re-register. I think that's how that should happen. Same day voting and no, yeah, same day voting. Get rid of
Same
this
day voting.
voting crap
Yep.
language and no mail-in voting.
So it's Congress that has the power to do that.
Mhm.
And then they'll challenge it in court, and some liberal judge will toss it out.
Well, they could do something if they can't do anything about local level, but it's really, really, really awkward to
State
do
level, state,
local elections different than federal level elections.
yeah, but they can't do it they couldn't help us with our state house then.
Well, that's what I just said, is
Yeah,
that
yeah,
it
but
would be
local and state
really,
level.
really difficult for any given state to do their local elections differently than federal elections are done. Because the process, when you're doing this process, because remember, I've sat at the polls more than
Yeah.
once, and there is this whole process. And if you have two different processes, you're gonna have a really hard time actually getting the job done. And there's still a federal level thing of, one person, one vote. And, I'm very interested to see, what's going to happen in the next year because we have, and I am believing because I follow Harmeet Dillon and she's civil rights and she's the person who's dealing with the election stuff and like getting the voter rolls. And I'm willing to bet that they've got a bunch of other stuff kind of on their plate.
Yeah.
But I also suspect they're not going to try and push it too early. I suspect there's a timing element to this.
Why
Um,
to not give them enough time to litigate
because
back,
if you do it too soon, and people figure out how to do the
get
cheat.
around it?
We're
Yeah,
we're, in the, we're still in the middle of the holidays.
yeah,
A lot of this stuff is going to kick in tomorrow.
yeah.
You
The
know,
big beautiful bill
all
stuff.
the big beautiful bill stuff. The Homeland ICE is going to triple they're going to triple their numbers on January 1st. And I'm willing to bet they're going to be boots on the ground first thing in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah.
And maybe even at midnight, the ball might drop and they might be on the road. So that wouldn't surprise me because they've been doing like nighttime stuff in Minnesota. They have been all over that, which has been good. Um,
I
but
think what this year will be remembered for the most, though?
mm,
The unveiling of AI.
yeah, yeah, yep. We could do
This is the
that.
year. This is the year it come out.
Mhm.
It's been around for several years before, but this is the year it really comes to the public.
Yeah, this was the year it really started getting used. I mean, I've heard like, I follow Jordan Peterson and he's been talking about I know he used it when he wrote his most recent book because the stuff that's in
But
that
did he
book.
really write it then?
No, no, oh no, oh God, no, no. He actually wrote it. I know he
Okay,
wrote it,
okay.
but he
But
used
well, how do you
it.
use something to write a book if you're writing it yourself still? Just for
I will,
referrals?
I'm going to explain this because
Okay.
because I'm doing this thesis. It's really helpful. It can be. It can be also huge pain in the butt, but it's still probably better than quicker. The idea is this is quicker because, for example, I can ask AI a question. I can go, and I usually use Grok because if I'm going to trust one, that's the one I feel most comfortable trusting. Like because
Yeah.
Google's hell no, stay keep that thing away from me. Um, but I can say, oh, there was this quote by this guy that is, we were talking about, we were talking yesterday about he who controls the weather controls the world. And
Yeah.
my guest, John, was trying to remember, he couldn't remember which president said it. So I went into Grok and I said, okay, who said this? I think it was a president. And Grok came back with it was President Johnson. Here's the documentation. Here's a link to the speech. So it can be really helpful. It's like if I'm looking for a specific citation, especially when it comes to something like ancient literature, anything that's like something like the Iliad and the Odyssey is actually going to be in the AI. The AI will have looked at that. So
Yeah.
the other day I was looking for the term hamartia, which is hamartia is Greek and it's to miss the mark, and it's the translation for it's the word used for sin in the Bible. And so it was like, okay, so where did this come from? I was like, is that Aramaic? I remember the word.
Yeah.
Is that Aramaic? Is it Greek? What is that? And so Grok was like, oh, it came from, it was originally Aristotle brought this up, and here's where he mentioned it in Poetics, and here's a link to the page. So it speeds up the process. If you ask it to write for you, it sounds like AI wrote it for you. If you're trying to
Okay.
do anything interesting, it's
Huh.
pretty good with legal stuff from what I've heard. There's a guy out in California who has had, documents that, because he's done a ton of FOIA requests, and he
Hmm.
basically had AI like write them all up for him. And when you needed something really fast, like you needed a platform, I plugged in, it was like, okay, here's the GOP, the RNC party platform. Here's some issues in Connecticut, generate something for me. And then I went through and was like, okay, this is good, that's not, and like, touched it up.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because for business writing, it doesn't have to be like, you know, creative. It just
Mm.
needs to be clear.
No, it needs to be informative and clear.
Yeah. So it's fast for stuff like that. If you need something now, that's,
Well,
it's
that's what they're saying that the some people are saying that we're not a lot jobs won't be lost. Certain jobs are going to be lost because of AI, but it'll be replaced with the jobs of actually managing the AI.
yeah. Well, and the other
But I don't
thing
know
is
about
that,
that.
it's a new tool. I'm sure you remember when the internet was young.
Sure, I remember when it came
And
out specifically very well.
yeah, and how do you remember the Nigerian prince scam?
A little bit. Oh yeah, the money, the $3 million I stashed away, everything. Yeah, that
Yeah, yeah.
I got to tell you, I saw an episode of The Jeffersons, an old episode of The Jeffersons, the other day, where there was like a pre-internet version of that,
Oh my God. Well, I
where
guess,
you basically
a
you went to the guy
scam
and
is
said,
a
"Oh,
scam.
I got this money in a locker at the airport, and I really need to, I
Yeah,
can't. It has to be, registered with the bank 10 days or whatever. And
yeah.
they make you put down like a $500 fee so you
Oh
can
yeah,
take
yeah.
part in it or whatever. So it's the same scam. It's the Nigerian scam, the
Sure.
internet version of
Yeah,
that.
a scam is a scam. They're
Yeah,
all there's
I
probably
got to tell you though, when the internet first came out,
hmm,
my attitude was not the same as it is with the AI though.
hmm,
Like with the internet, it was wonderment.
hmm.
Here
Yeah.
it's fear.
Well, we've got a better idea now about what can go wrong.
I've kind of we all saw the movie. You know
Yeah.
the movie I'm talking about,
Well, there's more
right?
than one.
Yeah, but what's the major one that everybody knows? Hey, kitty cat. The
Oh,
one with Keanu Reeves. The
yeah. Well, there's the
Matrix.
Matrix, but
The
there's also, I
Matrix.
mean, there were the Terminator movies, and there's been
There's
a
been something called The Matrix, yes, but there's something called the Terminator movie wasn't specifically about machines ruling though. That was more about man using machines. This is so
oh, the
if
Matrix is
anybody's ever
very
seen the
interesting.
there's an animated movie called The Animatrix.
Oh, never saw that.
Oh yeah, check it out.
No.
It is basically a cartoon version of it's a prequel to the Matrix movie,
Oh, okay. Okay.
and it's in cartoon form. That's why it's the Animatrix, and
Got
it tells the story
it.
of
Okay.
how we went from the introduction of AI. Matter of fact, the whole little movie begins with the introduction. It begins with 2025 essentially, and their version like, oh, this new tool called AI.
Yeah. Well,
So that if you saw
we
the
shouldn't be
Animatrix,
calling
maybe
it
if you saw the
AI.
Animatrix, you'd be worried, huh?
We shouldn't be calling it AI. We should be the correct term for it is actually
AR.
no, it's actually a large language model, LLM.
Okay.
because what it's doing isn't technically intelligence.
It's
Um,
just really, what is it? Just a Google search on steroids, right?
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And and obviously the big flaw in it is that it mirrors us. So whoever programmed it, and I'm sure you remember, well, this was last year, they were, they had asked AI, and I don't remember which one it was. I think it was the Google one. I think it was Gemma. Um, they asked it to generate photographs of the founding fathers, and there wasn't one white guy in any of those images.
Really? That's
Oh yeah,
funny.
it was like, oh yeah, there are black guys and there
Benjamin
were
Franklin was
Asian
black.
guys,
Yeah.
Asian guys, and Native American guys, and it was like, oh my God.
That's
I think
funny.
there were a few women in there too, like with
Oh, wow.
wigs on and stuff. It was
Betsy
it
Ross
was
always deserved a seat.
ridiculous. Yeah, it was pretty stupid. So this is, I
But it
mean,
doesn't mean it like, but what about I do hear stories about, I think you told me about, or somebody told me about, where there's a bunch of little robots. They're about, said one of them kind of talked the other ones into doing something else.
oh, well, sometimes, yeah, the AIs have been like one of the and yeah, this was the Google one. Robbie Starbuck, and he's one of he did some big things in 2024 and he's still at it in 2025. And one of the things he was doing was he was putting pressure on companies to get rid of their DEI policies. He got Harley Davidson to back down on that. He got
No,
John Deere to
Davidson and
back down
D.
on that.
Holly Davidson and DI do not belong in the same
I know. I don't know what the
paragraph or
yeah,
book
that's
for that matter.
like, are you insane? Uh,
Yeah.
But anyway, so AI has been making up, like the Google AI has been making up stories about him and saying he's a pedophile, just like completely, total,
Wow.
like just, defamation. And he's tried
It-
multiple times. So now he's suing Google.
oh, wow. There's got to be something behind that. It can't just be AI. There's got to be some
No,
human.
well, you see, that's the thing.
It's
Can
somebody using the AI though.
Well,
Not. It's
it's
not.
what somebody believes. It's
Right.
like if someone
Uh,
has qualified Robbie Starbuck as a bad person, and AI will lie to you. I've had this experience. Like I was looking for a specific citation for my thesis.
yeah.
And so I asked for it and it gives me and I early on I didn't realize it was what this was doing. So I was like, okay, give me some citations for, these things. And so my librarian couldn't find one of them. She's like, "Where did that come from?" I'm like, okay, I guess it doesn't. That's weird." And
Yeah.
and then I realized it's like, and then my thesis advisor was like, "Oh yeah, they make things up, and it's because it wants to be helpful."
Who's they?
The
Anyway,
AI, yeah. And so this is Grok, and so I
we're
asked
calling it they.
again. I was trying to find a citation, so it can be very helpful, like I was explaining earlier. But then sometimes it will like give you something and I'm like I'm trying to find a specific quote and it was tough because this one is like it's more folklore and it's poetry and it's been floating around the internet, not really published anywhere until
Hmm.
very recently, and the person who originally wrote it died. So it's like I get it, it was a little challenging, but it took me 45 minutes to get to the actual book where the quotation was. And I needed that specific quotation. But it took me 45 minutes of continually going back and saying, no, you're wrong. No, it's not there. No, you're wrong. Stop that. And at this point, I'm like, okay, sometimes I need to do this. If I don't get an actual link, I don't get you just have to check the citations.
Hmm.
It will find them for you, which does save time, but you've got to check the citations. You have to check it.
Yeah.
So
Fact
it's
check
like,
the
what's your
AI.
source on that? Yeah.
And then you think about it, this year is the first year of it, really. What's it
Yeah,
going to be
it
like in
really
10
is.
years,
Yeah, it really is.
5 years, 10 years, 20 years?
So 2025,
That's
yeah.
the big event of 2025. We're reviewing the year, but we always go off on a tangent.
Yeah, well, that's
There's
okay.
more. There's more. I think this has been a very profound year in the sense that the deep state has taken the biggest hit that it's taken
Yeah,
in my lifetime in
yeah,
terms of pure layoffs, pure, being held accountable, the
yeah,
federal chair being held accountable.
Yeah. And I'm
You know,
hoping we'll see more in Connecticut in the next year. Any
yeah,
blue state.
Connecticut has not benefited from the Trump movement much at all, really.
No,
That's
no,
because
it's
of our
not.
sinister government.
Well, our local government doesn't pay any attention to us. It's like, and this is, I am really, at this point, I am at the theory that there are people, the people running the state for the most part, and I'm sure there are some actual genuine representatives in there who actually care about the people that they're, looking out for. But none of our federal representatives, I don't believe that any, like, our senators or any of our representatives to Congress, I don't think any of those people have our best interest in mind whatsoever.
No, no, of course not. They're part of a machine. Another memorable event that does so into 2025 here in Connecticut is the events that what happened to John Flynn.
Oh, yes, yes,
That
yes,
should be highlighted as a major
yes.
event here in Connecticut in 2025. And
Yes,
this is
and
what I
we
mean
got,
when I say we want to replace the media. I want us to be ultimately, and we're going to do everything we can and put everything we have into it to be the go-to place here at Connecticut Common Sense for the real news, what's really going on. The fact that John Flynn he went through and was ignored by the media is
so he
sinister in
went in,
itself.
they threw him in March, and he got out, was it June?
It was 4 months later.
Yeah,
It was beginning of March, end of June, I think.
end of June. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And
he spent 4 months in Whiting Forensic Hospital because they decided he was crazy.
well, yeah, that's the official.
Yeah, that was the official.
Elizabeth Reed was the judge in Stanford that threw him into prison with no counsel, by the way, not
Yeah,
allowed to even consult an attorney.
yeah,
They
yeah.
put him in what's called a 90-day hold, which
Hmm.
is what they rarely use in Connecticut.
Yeah,
There are laws
I
in
know.
Connecticut. It's called a 3-day hold and a 90-day hold.
Hmm.
A 3-day hold is used quite frequently when someone threatens suicide, essentially.
Yeah.
And that makes sense to put somebody down, make sure they don't kill themselves or whatever.
At 90 days, yeah.
The 90-day hold is rarely ever used for anything. They've
And how
decided to
many
pull it out.
people, how many people's families who actually had somebody who had mental health problems would have loved a 90-day hold,
Right.
you know? But they
Yeah.
don't do that. They don't
It's
do
something
that.
that's on the books, but it's never used. But they decided to use it on John Flynn
Right.
because John Flynn was making progress in investigating their election fraud.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And that's another thing that
And
anybody
that
who
was
actually
that was
gains any
Senator
track,
Blumenthal he was investigating,
he
by
was
the way.
investigating Senator Blumenthal. That's correct. Senator
Yeah.
Blumenthal is a criminal,
Yeah.
period.
His son ain't much better.
Son ain't much better. They're not good people. And the thing is if you get a toll, here's the thing: to topple these people, you have to get a toll of that information and get it out there before they get to you. Unfortunately, that's how it is.
Right.
Sad. Um, which is why
We have to be careful
internet
what we
is
say here because they're gonna
yeah.
come after us. Okay, they're not we
No, the
have
internet is good.
no
I'll say
proof.
whatever.
We
The
have no
internet is
proof that they're actual criminals. So no proof.
no, we don't need proof of it,
No.
but there's plenty of evidence. Their net worths alone,
Right. Well,
right?
John Flynn had evidence. He's got plenty of stuff, and he actually filed stuff, which is
Right.
why they, threw him in white. So,
File it with who? Them?
well, I mean, and this, so it's like, a lot of what he was looking at was the election fraud. And so there has been progress made, especially with United Sovereign Americans,
Yeah.
which is now United Americans. They changed their name. And so they've made tremendous progress. Their report has come out, and the next step, because
Alert the feds.
they didn't have the evidence at the beginning of the year, and it
Yeah.
came out with 2022. They came out with 2024. And the next step is going to be going in front of the state legislature and saying, we see you,
Yeah.
because the woman who's been orchestrating this effort, she's filed all sorts of things with the SEC.
Yeah.
They've all been like, oh, we don't have time to look at that, or oh no, the statute of limitations has run out on that,
Well,
or
maybe that's
we
one of
don't
the
need to
places we
look at
should.
that for like, oh, at least 18 months.
Maybe their office is one of the places we need to go visit in person with cameras.
Yeah, that's I gotta put it on the list, which is probably getting longer by the day.
Those just get very long. You know who I'm going to rehearse with? The Peterborough, New Hampshire Police Department.
Okay.
They're going to be my rehearsal.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into it right now, but they falsely arrested me back in 2022 and violated my rights very badly.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
doing my job, but we'll tell the story another time.
Okay. All
That's for
right.
another day.
Okay. Well,
But
then you're
they're gonna go.
coming up.
A particular sergeant there is gonna go. We're gonna go do a ride along with him.
Well, we'll share that. I know we have people other than people in New England who follow us. Well, people in
Yeah,
New
we
England,
want.
those people in
There's other
Connecticut.
things we want to do. Like we want to do Connecticut Common Sense dash investigations.
Hmm.
Connecticut Common Sense dash
Well, that
audit.
is your strong point. So,
Connecticut Common Sense dash First Amendment audit.
yeah, there you go. Nice.
Connecticut Common Sense dash integrity. Right.
So,
So this is going to be a
so
very interesting
there's been some
year.
progress made with that, and starting the beginning of January, that will be going into the state legislature and reading a statement that says, this is what's happened. This is who's responsible. We expect you to do something about it. And then
Mm.
after the state legislature has been done, every single town is going to need people to stand up and volunteer because we've got 169 towns in Connecticut. And this is going to be read, the statement is going to be read and personalized for every town. So all the selectmen who are there, all of the registrars of voters, their names are going to be on the statement. And so it's
Good.
technically it's like there's a specific name for this, but it's like it's like a legal action where we're saying you've been informed that this is something's wrong and we're holding you to account. So
You
it's
know what's really cool about
it's
that's why
pretty powerful.
2026 is going to be such an amazing year. Because you know why? For all of you who are watching or know somebody who's watching, who's corrupt and knows that is part of this corruption, is part of this scheme. For all you dirty state cops that are out violating people's rights and keeping men in prison for their political views,
Mm.
you know who you are. And for all you politicians that are in your little good boys club and want to exclude
Mhm.
stop democracy, like Ben Proto, okay, all you thugs, it's not me particularly.
Mm.
We the people, all in capital letters, because of the internet, because of broadcast of different technologies now, we're coming after you. We are coming for you. You are going to lose your position. Your corruption days are coming to an end. And if you're spraying chemicals in the air, Wyndham Airport, by the way, is the place where I've heard rumors that is one of the places where the planes are taking off from doing that.
Mm.
If that's true, we're going to come over. We're eventually going to send people there to stop you, right? If you're poisoning people, it's almost too horrible. I almost have a hard time believing it.
Yeah, I
If
know.
it's true what you're saying about aluminum and our crops and whatever, if, they're probably not trying to poison us like, they're just trying to poison our food.
Yeah.
And if that's what they're doing, if that's happening, they need to be physically stopped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stopped.
There's the food situation has,
We need to get to the bottom. We need to get to the bottom of that.
yeah, we do. That's
Have you
what
noticed that organic food? So organic foods are having trouble growing, huh, around the country.
that is what I've been hearing. I've seen a couple of posts on X that this
You have to
is
start growing
the
indoors.
direct this is the direct experience. I'm gonna, there's probably something that can be done to clean the land. And believe it or not, it might involve mushrooms. There's all sorts of things that natural processes that can actually help clean
It's
up the
great to work it
soil.
on that end. Then it's great to work it on that end, but
Yeah.
we also have to put a stop to it.
Well, yeah, yeah, but and there's a degree to which is it getting worse or is it just being revealed? And it's like this massive fraud by Somalians. Um,
Hmm.
and I don't know how much you're following that, but that
No,
is,
I know about it, and
mhm.
I think it's not just in Minnesota.
Oh no, no, it's not. There
There's not
and
just Somalians. There's
yeah.
other foreign national groups like Venezuela.
Yeah, well, they're looking a lot of, there's a lot of focus on the Somalians right now, and that's fine.
I
I'm
hear in Minnesota they're letting people
Yeah.
vouch. They're doing a thing called a voucher system. So if you can come in and vouch for a bunch of
Oh
people to
yeah,
vote,
yeah, and that's not the only state that does that, which is just bizarre. This is like if someone is voting and they bring in their friend and say, "Oh yes, this person lives next,
or a group
next
of
door to me,"
friends,
or four friends. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like
And if get this,
that's totally
if,
legal.
if you're a government official, you can the number of people you can vouch for is unlimited.
God, yeah.
So
So
what are we gonna do? I mean, the people got this. This is why regular people need to stand up and start taking action.
yeah,
Start getting involved. They can't. if there's a lot of people involved, social media is key. We talk about how the major media outlets like CNN, WFSB, blah blah blah, they don't cover the stories. But here's the good thing. I think that social media, there's probably more people now that follow social media than follow those stations.
X is the #1 news app in the
So that's
world.
the answer. The
In
answer
the
is to
world.
outshine everybody there.
Yeah.
Substack you mentioned as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Substack is smaller, but it allows for more detail.
Hmm.
And that's, so I have some good, and Rumble's all about free
And I
speech.
have to say though, I know you're not too much into Facebook, but I've been doing a lot on Facebook, and I have to say they haven't censored anything that I've done yet. And I've watched a lot of reels on there where they talk about these chemical trails and
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things
It's
that
not,
a lot
it's not
very
unheard of now.
yeah.
So
There's a lot of stuff that I'm seeing on Facebook that if I were some fascist pig that I would want to censor that I don't see being censored. So maybe Facebook isn't doing so badly right now.
yeah. So things may be getting better. Things
I
could be
hope
getting
so,
better.
but
But you
there needs to be a sort of a tide. I compare it to like, well, getting a lot of followers on a podcast, say,
Mm,
is like a snowball. It's like making a snowball.
yes.
Snowman. You start off with this little
Hmm.
ball, and it's hard to get things to stick to it and falling apart on you. You're like
Yeah.
trying to do this, and you're kind of like rolling it by. In the beginning, you remember snowman? You're kind of
Oh yeah.
like, and it's falling. You're trying to roll, and it's really hard. But then once it starts
Yeah,
going, it
they're
starts doing
catching
this.
on. And it's
Then you just watch it
tough.
grow. Right. So that's what we have to do here at
Yeah,
Connect.
and
That's what we do nationwide to
mhm,
fix this corruption.
yeah.
And
Well,
we
the
are already
beautiful
doing. We
thing
are
is,
on our way.
the beautiful
Those
thing
of
is
you who
that
are.
Nick Shirley, who did the Minnesota stuff, he
Mhm,
has inspired a bunch of people. So there's a young fellow who's doing this in Ohio, and
mhm.
there's somebody who's doing it in New Jersey. And actually,
Yep.
there's some actually fantastic reporting that's happening in Maine. The out it's
Great.
yeah,
'Cause Maine was the second state that got mentioned after Minnesota as
yeah.
being
There's a
another
lot.
one.
There's a big linkage there. They dumped a bunch of them in Portland and a bunch of them in Lewiston, which is where that shooting happened last year, by the way.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So they're actually the fraud in Maine is getting that's got federal eyeballs on it right now. Uh,
And then maybe people should, a lot of these young, inspiring journalists start showing up at these small
do it.
airports too.
Yeah, do it. So I
Wyndham
think
Airport,
Nick
right here.
Shirley has just inspired a whole lot of young men, and I'm pleased
Good.
about that.
It's inspired Miss Older Man. I'm going to start broadcasting myself. So
Excellent. Yeah, we're looking. Yeah, well, you've been practicing, so this is
I've been rehearsing.
yep, this is good. This is good.
So
So
I don't know. Is there anything else on your mind for the rest of this year? Or
and well, this is yeah, it's been all I can say is it's been a super exciting year, and it's been really tough to keep
it's
track of
different?
everything because so much has happened.
Right. We
Uh,
could do 4 hours on review. And there's things that have happened this year that I never thought would happen in my lifetime, actually, already.
yeah,
So this next should be very important.
yeah,
So anyway, I hope everybody has a happy new year. I guess we're gonna check out.
yeah.
And for the year, I'll see you next year, y'all. January 6th. Tell your friends. We're gonna do more to pump up the viewership here. It's gonna get better and better. We're at that point now. We're like this a little bit, but it's gonna start. And
Hmm.
then on January 6th, we're gonna have John DeBarros in here for a very important guest.
Good.
Um,
Welcome.
more very interesting guests being lined up for the early part of the year. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, God bless America. God bless Connecticut. And I hope everyone has a beautiful and not terribly alcoholized New Year's Eve.
I don't want to be one of those people to nag people not to drink and drive and whatnot. I'm not saying you should, but
Shouldn't have to. Seriously,
just
we
be
shouldn't
safe.
have to.
Just be safe.
Yeah, yeah. Just keep an eye on what's going on around you. That's all, because there's a lot of.
What's the statutes of limitations on drinking and driving?
Oh, I don't.
Probably like a year or two, not that long, right?
I
Okay,
honestly,
good. Because I used to do it when I was
I have
younger.
no
Like
idea.
way back when I was younger, I did it a lot.
Well,
There's only I'll talk
many
about
Gen X did. That was a thing.
it was the Gen X thing. But I'll tell you the only reason I did it though.
Hmm.
Because I'm talking about the ages of 18, 19, 20. That's it. I stopped doing it after that.
Yeah.
But we used to go party. Like the Gen X, our Gen X was party in the woods generation.
Yeah.
Right. And I had some good friends, but they didn't know how to handle alcohol.
Hmm.
And there was the word designated driver didn't even get said until like 1990
Oh
or
yeah, that
something.
wasn't a thing.
There
Yeah,
was
that
no
was
such
like
thing as that before
you
that.
drove your own damn car. That's
Everybody drove, right? Well, we'd go out together or whatever, but I was the one that insisted on driving because I was the only one that, even if I was drinking, I at least knew, like, whoa, I got to be careful here, not drive too fast, type of thing. Whereas my other friends would be like, drive like morons. So, like, I'm like, if someone's going to do it, it's going to be me. At least, I'll probably get us home safe. I realize I'm tipsy, but,
Mhm.
I drive slower, like when I do
Well,
that. I would drive
there is a degree of caution that's warranted for sure.
Right, right. It's just common
You
sense kind
have
of
to
thing. Again,
know.
common
Yeah. Oh
sense.
yeah.
Again,
I had, my boyfriend had a friend who crashed. I think he totaled three cars.
oh God. So
Yeah.
I had a friend named Vinny,
Yeah.
and I could talk about him because he's deceased now, but he was a wild, crazy guy, nuts. And there was one night, like I didn't really like him. He's actually really too volatile for me, violent and everything. But there was one particular night we ended up. The one night I decided to just give it a shot, just go out with me and him, go out drinking together or whatever, having partying. And he drove, right?
Hmm.
Let Vinny drive, right? That night on the way home, we got off the Tunnel Road exit in Vernon. And if you're going off that to get on Tunnel Road, there's a road that ends. Well, he went straight through the guardrail, down the embankment. I thought I was gonna die. I thought it was over. I'm like, it's over. I'm cashing out right now. Somehow, this drunken Vinny managed to, by turning up a lot of grass, turn the car around somehow and zoom it up back onto the road with damage to it, but yet drivable. And then he drove us the other 2 miles home. The last 2 miles home, I sat here like this, like, oh God, he almost got me killed. After that, I was like, I'm not. If anyone's gonna go out, it's gonna be me. It's gonna drive, not these other clowns. That was like a near-death experience.
All right. And on that note, we
On
really
that
gotta say
note, we're
goodnight.
gonna go.
Yeah.
God bless Connecticut. God bless America.
Learn from his pain.
Yeah, learn from my pain. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
See
New
you on the
Year.
6th with John DeBarros.
Absolutely. Okay.
Bye now.
Bye.